Cortez is on.
What you know about Cortez?
I know what's on.
Only LA? What you mean? Come on. There's too many movies. It's all about the movies, you know, guys just watch movies.
Too young to know about that.
It's all good.
You guys are getting back to work today. Big game coming up. What's the mood of the team as you guys get set for this next 3 games?
Yeah, we had our, normally I say 48-hour rule, had a little bit more time than that with the bye week, but really put our focus on these world champs. Great opportunity again for us. Reset. Last game is behind us. Move forward because that doesn't matter. That's not going to help us going forward. So just get going, get guys back in the building. Reset, new week.
I guess how do you obviously everybody has different obligations, stuff with the holidays. I guess how do you kind of balance those things with doing the work that you need to do to get ready for a Christmas game?
I only have one wish and one present I want. It's to win. Just want to win.
How did you feel Zamir came out of it? And you talked after last game about it being an audition for Aiden, for yourself, for a lot of people. Depending on what happens with Josh, is this an audition for Zamir? I mean, how do you think he came out of it and going forward?
Well, first I think Zamir prepared himself each and every week for this opportunity, and he took full advantage of it. Maybe the reps weren't there, the opportunities for carries. I don't think we hit the 20 number for him. That's our kind of goal for all our backs. But what I saw was a physical runner, somebody that was moving the pile, that was straining to get every inch, every foot, every yard he can get. Productive in the passing game, productive in the pass pro as well. And when you say audition, every day is an audition. National Football League, everybody's on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute contract because we can all get fired, at the blink of an eye. So that's how we approach today. Guys know it. Take advantage of your opportunities, and he did just that.
How big can Trey Tucker be? Saw him get a couple of touchdowns on Thursday against the Chargers, but him moving forward, just getting that confidence and being a weapon for you.
Yeah, no, come on. 4.2 speed, man. 4.3, whatever you want to call it. He's fast. He's fast, right? So all the attention always goes to Devontae, and then 8. And then now you better look at Jacoby and then Big Mike. But there's nothing that you can prepare for when that speed gets upon you. And I think that confidence in that game that came out of it for him, making those catches, making those throws, everybody celebrated with him. I mean, that's huge, not just for him, but for us as a team because he can split the safeties. And I think a lot of people understand that. But I think hats off to him because it's been God, when is it going to come, Trey? When is it going to come? And then, obviously it was a breakout game for him.
How much confidence is the defense playing with now, and how much does that go back to what Patrick Green's doing?
Yeah, I think, Patrick, the staff, even when I was there at the linebacker position as a coach, we kept talking about the process and trusting and believing it and staying within the scheme, letting the plays come to you. We know where all the attention goes to on our defense. It's to our left side with 98. There's opportunities there for the rest of our defense to make plays. And if we do our job and we do it each and every snap, it gives you that opportunity. You saw it last week with Malcolm Kuntz. You've seen it with Spillane. You've seen it with Jack Jones. You've seen it with Tyree. Now what you're seeing is everybody contributing to a defense that, Patrick is sitting upstairs and you don't really have to do too much. The players are playing at a speed and a physicality that less is more. Allow them to use their God-given physical attributes and let them put that on display. And then you put them in position to make plays. And I think that's all come together. It's a group that believes in one another. They have fun with one another. I mean, I don't know what it looked like from the top down or television, but on the sideline, it's real juicy. Guys are having fun, man, and that's good. When you're having a good defense, you celebrate everybody's success.
Antonio, there's always a lot of pressure for a first-round pick, especially a top 10 pick like Tyree. It obviously has been a process for him. How has he handled it mentally as well as the physical part on the field?
I'm sure early on he was frustrated, as we all were. But it kind of went the opposite with him. Most rookies start here and then they go down in November, December. His arrows just keep going up and up. Each and every week, each and every day in practice, you see something and say, okay, here we go. This is what we saw on film. And I think it's a credit to him of not becoming mentally weak. And I think looking at Max, looking at Malcolm, working with Rob, working with Matt Edwards, our D-line coaches, and just constantly doing it each and every day. And really just, I think all rookies, when they get drafted in the first 10 picks, say, I got it. I made it. I'm good. Man, it's hard. It's hard in this business. And I think he respected that process, maybe a little bit too late. Not early enough, excuse me. But I think he's done a great job as far as, adapting to different roles that we put him in. Sometimes you got to find that niche of that player. That's what gets him confidence. And I think when we moved him inside, put him back outside, you can see the confidence just growing with this kid.
Obviously, there's still 3 games left to play for him to continue to move that needle forward. But he's also going to have an offseason, knock on wood, he stays healthy the rest of the season, an offseason where he could devote strictly to football as opposed to last year when he was coming back from rehab.
Right.
How big of a difference can that make if he takes advantage of that time?
Yeah, one, healthy, right? This whole offseason, I don't think he practiced until after the Niners preseason, week 1. He didn't have a normal offseason. He was rehabbing in the month of December. Couldn't even run his 40. Couldn't do anything at the combine. So it'd be good for him to just get in here with our trained staff and our guys here, nutritionists, and everybody, just change his body even more. Because the sky's the limit for him, and it's what he wants to get out of it and what the work that he's going to put into it. Which I would be surprised if he's not here each and every day. When 98 shows up, probably 2 weeks after the season's over with, he'll be here right with them, and you'll have no better mentor and leader than to follow him.
You look at your secondary and also your linebacker room. What's the biggest area of improvement you've noticed, and then from a pass coverage perspective?
I think how we're attacking football, not just with interceptions, but punch outs. There's a lot of bang plays. I don't think I would say probably other than the Kansas City game, not a lot of yak. After the catch, would you see his guys pretty much on the string together? If you're in zone defense, just how that works, right? Everybody needs to move and see things equally. It's vision and break defense for the most part, unless you're a pattern match defense, which we do both. But then when we play man, which we got into the last 2 weeks, you see those guys get up there and challenge and make every ball contested. And I think that's the thing that I'm really proud of when I watch our group is how we compete when the ball's in the air. There's not too many times you don't see a black jersey near the football.
Do you believe that personalities can play a role in that? Because when you look at Nate, when you look at Amik, when you look at Jack, they're outgoing personalities, aggressive personalities. You can translate onto the field.
Yeah, no, all of them, man. It's a great group to work and watch each and every day, the competitiveness, the spirited battles amongst each other. But more importantly, how they celebrate with one another. That's what I like to see, man. That was just, sometimes you be on teams and the guy would make a big play and everybody walks away from him. These guys, boom, they gravitate to one another, and that's good. And obviously they have the skill set, too, now to do what we're asking to do. So that's part of the process as well.
Arrowhead's known for noise so much. Are you a believer, and are you going to be using that in practice this week? Or because you've had to do silent count so much this season, is it more just focusing on what you got to do?
Well, it's always going to be focused on the Raiders, but what I asked the team to do today and this week is to bring our own noise. Bring our own noise to the stadium come Monday.
The Chiefs use a lot of trick plays, a lot of gadget plays. How do you prepare for that as a coach?
Can't. He's got a million of them. Every time you think you've seen one, you've seen it all, here comes another one. And they're creative. They have fun doing it. That's good. But obviously, at the end of the day, you got to do your job, right? So most of the time, where those trick plays come? Fringe, red zone, near the goal line. So, come on. We're alert to it already, right? So that's being talked about in meetings as we're going forward throughout the week. And that's just everybody being attentive. There's no need to run up the field in this kind of game, right? They get down there. We saw it last time we played them. They ran the ball in. We don't want that to happen. If they don't run it in, here comes the gadgets. We saw the ring around the rosy deal they did last year. All fun and games. Cool. But at some point, the best way to stop a trick play is do what? Hit it in the mouth.
Antonio, you talked about coming out of the bye week. That's something that you felt the team needs to improve at was not just getting off to those fast starts, but finishing strong. Considering how the last game against the Chiefs went, how much of an emphasis is that this week?
Huge. 2 parts to that question there. They're one of the best teams at the end of the second quarter. And it's happened to us in 3 games now that they've found a way to get the ball, and no matter if it's 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they're going to score. And that's our job as coaches to put these guys and have calls to put us in a position not to allow that to happen. And then when we're in that position to make the plays. They're one of the best teams, as you talked about it, in the fourth quarter. That's why they're world champions, right? Let's keep it matter of fact. That's why they've been one of the best teams in this division and in the National Football League for the X amount of years now. Everybody has to be dialed in. To beat the world champions, you have to be at your best. And you got to do a little bit more, right? And that's not going above X and O's. That's not doing anything out of the ordinary. It's, reading your keys. A little anticipation will come into play. But more importantly, the group together, I feel for us as Raiders, to make up our mind and say enough is enough, right? If you can do it in the first quarter, which we've done 2 out of the 3 games, being up 17-0 and 14-0, You got to find, and we have to strain as coaches and players to do that for 60 minutes. And it's really important in the second quarter, and the fourth quarter.
Is that some of the exercise that you did against the Chargers or focusing on against the Chargers in the second half, making sure you kept the foot on the gas for that exact reason?
Yeah, and I'll even go back, and I know it's maybe 2 weeks ago. I thought we did a good job in Minnesota. And when I say that, we kicked off, it was a 3-and-out. We got the ball, we moved down the field, the ball's at the 11-yard line. But we happened to turn the ball over. So we got off to a fast start there. So the last 2 weeks, what we've been working on didn't quite go in week one, in the week against the Vikings, but the next week it did. And to be honest, when I made that statement, I actually had to reset myself because I told the players at halftime it's 0-0. And that's what my comment meant. So regardless of what the score was, we're going to play that game, come out just like we did in the first quarter. Whatever our calls were, whatever we scripted, whatever we decided that was going to be the mindset and the plays we were going to come out with in the second half is what we're going to do at that point. So that's going to be going forward, and that's something we've worked on. And now, go back to that question, Tashad, it's the fourth quarter, finishing. And I was still, even that Charger game, finish. To see 14 points go on the board defensively, that was frustrating. No, it don't matter if the backup's in. It's professional football. Everybody want to play, right? Put me in, coach. But goddamn it, play. Stop them. Same defense, same calls. Just got to execute. Yes, sir.
You mentioned growing up as a Raider fan. When you think of Raider football, what do you think, and how close do you think this team is to playing Raider football since you've taken over as the interim coach?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I see Raider football, I see personality, I see swag, I see confidence, I see guys that believe in one another, I see winning performances, I see the superheroes being superheroes. I see a certain physicality and nastiness of how they play, not just on defense, but throughout. I see a group that does not apologize, and that regardless of what the outcome is, you know that you poured your heart out on that field. And have we done that? At times. And, I don't think it's something that you hit a switch or a new coach comes in, a new player comes. It takes time to build. Most winning organizations takes time to build. The problem is you don't have a lot of time.
Where's Josh health-wise, and what's your level of optimism that he can play on Monday?
Yeah, just like last week. I think he was close to last week. That was a decision we all made in the best interest of himself, for himself. If I had to be a banking man, I would think he'll play in this game.
Any update on Colton?
Same deal. If I was betting, those guys are going through the process that this is a game you want to play in now. You don't want to sit there. You don't want to watch it on television. You want to be there.
That's good. All right. Thank you.